It has become more common for students to pursue side hustles to help support themselves financially and pay off their student loans. Canada Student Loans found that it takes the average student 9 to 15 years to pay back their student debt. Since COVID-19, the unemployment rate for youth between 16 and 24 reached 27%, according to Fred Economic Research. A side hustle can be anything from selling artwork, tutoring, dog walking, to babysitting. Ryerson University student Noor Al-Sayed has turned her passion for painting into a side hustle.
Painting started as a hobby for me. I wanted a visually creative outlet that would help me de-stress from school and reduce my screen time. As a result, I ended up making so many paintings that I didn't have enough storage in my room, so I started to sell them online and I got a great response.
She has been doing this side hustle since August 2020. What began as an outlet for her creativity has turned into a way to make some extra money.
I think the idea of starting a small business has grown a lot in the past few months, especially due to the stay-at-home order that was extended in Toronto and Mississauga. A lot of students depended on these jobs to cover expenses and a little part of their tuition. So this has kind of forced them out of their comfort zone and encouraged them to think of alternative and innovative ways of making money instead of relying on an actual job.
Sean Wise, a professor at Ryerson University who specializes in entrepreneurship, says that more and more students need this side hustle out of necessity. Side hustles can be fun and done simply to combat boredom, but for some it means longer days, less free time, and busier schedules. Hannah Goodman, a fourth-year psychology student at the University of Guelph, works multiple side hustles aside from her part-time job. She's an English tutor, does journal, article, and indexing for a research physician, and concierge online for web events.
I've been doing side hustling for a little over a year now, and the reason why I started was to not only be able to fund my way through graduate school, but also to be able to have some money when I get out. Ultimately, I'm planning on doing a PhD in psychology. So for that reason, I'm going to have to be in school for a long time, and I do want to have some money when I do make it out of school so that I'm not in my early 30s or late 20s and still dependent on my parents.
For Goodman, she side hustles to have some job security since her other job hours were cut.
Side hustles have really taken off during the pandemic is because people just don't have the same job security that they had before. I know in the case of my retail job, we're now working at reduced hours, and so it's just not enough money to be able to save up in the way that I want to.
For those looking into side hustles, Al-Sayed says it's not always easy. She says it takes lots of research and dedication, but once you start, it can be very rewarding.
Then don't hesitate, just go for it. A lot of people are intimidated by this word saturated, but just because a market is saturated does not mean that there is no place for you in it. If you believe in your product or service, then I think there is a huge community of people who are waiting to buy from you and are happy to support you. So after you do that research, once you're more confident in exactly what you want to sell, don't hesitate, just go for it.
Side hustling does take a lot of your personal time, your me time. It takes time away from friends and family because when you get home from school, when you get home from your other job, there's always work to do. So for that reason, I would really critically think about whether or not you do need a side hustle and look into any and all of your other options because it is so important for your just general health and well-being to practice self-care, and a lot of the time a side hustle can eat into that.
For the Ryersonian, I'm Allissa Hibbs.